It's NFL fantasy football time. We're headed into week 3. Let's recap week 2 and get to these top week 3 waiver wire pickups right after this. Welcome everybody to What's Your Fantasy Football Show. It's your host, the WayneBreezie, Crystal, Peachy, B. Hey, Crystal, week 2 was different. Like, yeah, you know, in the NFL. Just before we get into the show, any surprises from week 2 in fantasy football? Anybody surprise you? Anybody stood out? Somebody you didn't expect?
I would have to say that the Saints stood out. They apparently are legit. I'm thinking, oh, you know, it's who they played, you know, week 1, blah, blah, blah. No, I think they really, really have something down there in New Orleans. And it's been a while since we can say that, but I tell you, overall.
Hold up. What if Dallas is not legit?
That's a great point.
I know people gonna be like, bro.
It's possible.
Hey, what if they're not legit? What if they're not legit? I'm not saying the Saints. Okay, they put up 43 points week 1. They put up 44 points on the road in week 2. So wait a minute. I gotta ask you this question. You said that the Saints surprised you. Now you got me thinking. Should I pick up Derek Carr and drop Jared Goff? Because like I think I'm gonna. You know what I'm saying? Listen, guys, if you're watching this show, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Do that. Subscribe to the channel. It's a seasonal show, so it's only during football season. But if we do really well football season, we'll be bringing you the NBA version of this show, which will be even more extensive, and you're going to have to pay attention every single time because NBA, no bueno. I pick my players. I literally draft the Celtics team, you know. But we're talking fantasy football. Peachy, that was a good surprise. I was not expecting that. Let's recap week 2. Let's get into our top 10 scorers in week 2. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, what? They did what? If you had Alvin Kamara on your bench, smack yourself. I specifically told y'all to draft Alvin Kamara. Specifically, we did a live draft show. I picked him up in just about every draft. Why? Because I said they got a new offensive person help running the system there. They're going to get back to what Alvin Kamara does. And with that, he put up 44 points against the Dallas Cowboys defense. How many touchdowns did he have? 4?
He had 4 touchdowns.
4 touchdowns. God, by golly, mom. The running backs were pretty good this week. Wait a minute, because we kicked off with James Cook at Buffalo on Thursday Night Football, and he put up 28. I think it was James Cook. Yeah. Had a gig that night. I remember. He put up 20 and a half points. And remember, you said he was on pace to being the number 1 running back, and Alvin Kamara said, no. Your boy Devon Achane, 29 and a half points. We're talking PPR, full PPR points per reception, ladies and gentlemen. Full PPR for Devon Achane. He was number 2. Marvin Harrison Jr., Peach. I'm going to let you talk about your boy. You know what I mean? Because that's your dog. But he put up 29 points. He said, I ain't no scrub.
I was going to say, if I had to come up with 2 surprises, that literally would have been a surprise because of him being at the bottom of the fantasy rankings after week 1 because of his awful performance, his bust performance. Everybody wants to call him a bust and all this other stuff. And he basically just showed the world that I'm here now. I got this. I'm good. All the lack of communication that me and Kyler had, we fixed it. We worked on it like the whatever. Because that dude was special. And did he catch some amazing balls that Kyler was throwing? So, man, let me tell you. he went from a complete 180 from the way that he looked against a pretty decent defense, I might add. So
You think
at least they're supposed to be a decent defense.
I don't know, man. I don't think the Rams defense is the same defense without Aaron Donald.
Right.
I think that I mean they got they got a lot of young players there. Maybe it will have an opportunity to be great. I just liked what I saw him do early in the game. They kind of started to they tamed him in the second half of the game, but he went bazooka Joe in the first half. Like he was like, "You better put some respect on my daddy's name. Like I am who my daddy say I am." And he went to work, man. Marvin Harrison Jr. It's good to see the young rookie do some real freaking damage. You know what I mean? Do some real damage in the NFL.
Absolutely.
Number 4 was DK Metcalf. I felt like he came out of the grave, 28.9 points. Number 5, another rookie, Malik Neighbors from the Giants. And we got to hit the ding ding bell because I did not think that Daniel Jones would have been is a competent quarterback to where he could complete a pass in the NFL.
Right. Exactly.
But he did. He did. He completed the pass. Not only did he complete a pass, Malik Neighbors put up 28.7 points in the PPR league. So if you got him in PPR, you definitely might want to start putting him in. What if? Hear me out. We're Niners fans. We just played probably the number 1, number 2 blitz in defense in the NFL. Maybe their defense was just too much. Maybe Minnesota's defense was too much for I was about to call him Eli Manning. Maybe it was too much for Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
It looked like it was too much for Brock Purdy. The Minnesota Vikings may have a pretty good defense, so don't sleep. That might be a sleeper defense you might want to pick up. They blitz 51% of the time, and they already have 11 sacks, and if they have to be leading the NFL in sacks. They got 6. They got 5 against the Giants, 6 against the 49ers. I know we're not there yet, but I'm just saying maybe that's why Malik couldn't really cook week 1, but he cooked week 2. Just saying. Go ahead.
It kind of is weird because if you think about it, like with them and the Saints, but especially Minnesota, you're right. Everybody was talking about like how, trash that the Giants must be, but maybe it's not the case. Maybe it's not that the Giants are trash. Maybe it's like you said, that Minnesota defense might just be completely legit. Because I know they were legit against us. I know that much.
Yeah, when you're a blitzing defense, man, it changes. You gotta get home. So sometimes you're gonna get beat, but the first 2 weeks in the NFL, Minnesota Vikings have a top 5 defense in the league. Just want to put that out there. There's a 2-way tie for 6, so this will probably be 6 and 7. We got Kyler Murray, quarterback from the Arizona Cardinals, 28.5 points, and then our guy James Cook. That we talked about for Buffalo, 28.5 points. Your boy Nico Collins, well, my boy from Michigan, but you like Nico because you had him in your league. He was number 8th on the list, 27.5. My boy Devontae Adams was 9th with 26 points. A lot of wide receivers here, which was what we started to expect. And good old Jalen Hurts capped off with 24.8 points, and he's number 10. He's number 10 this past week. You know what's crazy? I'm going to go weeks 1 and week 2 and then see who's top. You ready? Alvin Kamara is averaging 33 points the first 2 weeks. Devon Achane. These are guys you want to keep in there. 26.3 points each 2. Saquon Barkley had a good week 1. He chopped that in half week 2. He's averaging 25.4. So you want to start these guys. Here's a name, Peachy. Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is averaging 24.7 points. You might want to pick him up. I'm sure he's available in every single league. All right. Chris Godwin, 23.5. Nico Collins is at 6 with 22.6. Derek Carr. There are 2 quarterback names that are not top 10 quarterbacks. Derek Carr, 22.1 points. There's Jalen Hurts at 21.6. J.K. Dobbins is averaging 21.4. He actually put up 28.5 last week. He had 14 point. No, excuse me, I'm reading the wrong numbers. He put up 20.1 last week and 22.1 week 1. If he keeps his consistency going with those 20 points, that's a good pickup if you got him on the waiver wire. Not too many people drafted him. And then number 10 is a two-way tie for 10th. Kyler Murray, 21.4. Breece Hall, 21.4. Those are the top 10 players PPR over the two weeks of football. Like, any thoughts on that?
Like you said, it's surprising that we have Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield. Like, who would have thunk it? That those would be too. But like Breezie said, you can probably pick them up, especially Baker. You can probably grab him. I would grab him because some of these other quarterbacks that you know, because there's a lot of quarterbacks that you do not see named in there that just aren't performing that well at the moment. And I'm sure that you're looking at your lineup if you're like me and like, dang, I thought I had a really good quarterback. But I'm telling you, right now between week 1 and week 2, this season has definitely been spooky season. Like we're living in the upside down or something right now. All those teams that went down, you know, the superpowers, like they like to call them, the rankings look horrible right now as far as the NFL rankings. It's just flipped. It's just backwards. It's like we're
flat.
literally living in the upside down. If you guys get that, that's a Stranger Things reference. But I'm telling you, it's scary. It's like spooky season is here. Like what's his name says that does
sounds.
Red Zone, the witching hour.
The witching
like we're
hour.
in that right now.
Oh, you got me. I need to get some spooky sounds.
Yes.
Halloween is approaching.
Yes.
Halloween's approaching.
But yeah. So
it's just weird.
It's just so crazy right now.
First 2 weeks NFL, weird. It will hopefully pan out. But if you're struggling right now and you're 0-2 and you have a top tier quarterback and he's not performing, you might want to trade that backup quarterback you got on your bench for either Baker Mayfield or Derek Carr.
Yes.
Pick one of those guys up. And the third guy, Geno Smith. Don't worry, we're going to go through our top 10 waiver wire pickups. Before we get to that, let's talk about the injuries. Some injuries in week 2 went down. Peachy has the report on the injuries. Peachy, this is crazy. Which players are going to be out for a significant amount of time?
Okay, well, we already know about Tua Tagovailoa and what happened with him. He injured himself on Thursday Night Football. So that was after this, of course. And he's going to be out for multiple weeks. They're putting him on IR.
So 4 minimum.
How
four
he
minimum.
does with that. Yep.
Correct. Minimum 4 weeks IR. Anybody on the IR, minimum 4 weeks. Okay.
Right. Joe Mixon has a right high ankle sprain.
Oof.
His severity is not, they're not exactly sure right now. They're just trying to keep things up in the air.
He came back in the game though, right?
He did come back in the game, but
I play football, right? And so
right.
whenever your ankle get funny, act like twisted, hot, whatever, they put the super sticky tape that makes that junk to where it can't move.
Right.
Which is hard to run. It's hard to cut when you're a running back. I was a running back. So we'll see what happens with the high ankle sprain. I didn't even know it was a high ankle sprain. Thank you.
Yeah. So it says, and then one of the bigger ones is Isaiah Pacheco, the running back from the Chiefs.
Fibula. Yeah.
He has a right fractured fibula. He isn't on IR, and he will be out 6 to 8 weeks.
Wait, so they didn't even designate him to the IR?
Right.
Stupid.
I know.
If he's gonna be out 6 to 8 weeks, it's stupid for us because we play fantasy football.
Exactly.
We can put him on the reserve spot, but now you got to keep him in your line. You got to keep him on your roster because if you drop him, somebody's gonna pick him up and just wait 6 to 8 weeks, which might be too late if you're trying to get into the playoffs.
You know, the fantasy season doesn't quite go with the NFL season.
Bingo.
It's shorter than the NFL season. So therefore, you know, it might be too late to do that then. Then we also have the running back Tajay Spears has a sprained ankle. He's
What?
questionable for week 3. So we'll see what happens with that one. Then we have Tank Bigsby with a shoulder injury
How did backup running
from
back get hurt?
Jacksonville.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He's questionable for week 3. Oh, goodness. Okay. And then we have wide receiver Deebo Samuel from the 49ers.
Yep.
Calf strain.
Yep.
Out a few weeks.
Yep.
He's not been designated to the IR yet.
He's not
So
going to the IR.
If you're looking for
I'm
that
not even
to
gonna be
pop up on your
speaking.
fantasy thing, it will not.
He's not going to the IR. Please release Deebo Samuel if you're in my league.
It'll
Please get rid of
it'll
him.
just say out.
Yeah. Please out him off your team. I would or trade me Deebo. Whatever you want. Do that.
Then we
do
have-
it with Christian McCaffrey too. Let them go.
Right, both. You could just do a double. You could just both.
Double out. Double let him go. I'm sorry.
And then we have from the Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson, who has a right quad contusion. He's day to day. Now they're talking like he's going to be fine and he's going to play week 3.
Contusions are usually bruises,
Exactly.
and so
Yes.
he'll probably be able to play through
Yeah.
it.
He's a pretty tough dude. And then we have the mystery of wide receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown from the Detroit Lions.
What happened to him?
Who has an undisclosed lower body injury in its day today.
What? Okay,
So
hold on,
I don't
hold on,
know
hold on,
what that means or what, but that's all they're saying. So we'll see. They are expecting him to be available for week 3, so let's hope that he is.
What the hell is that shit?
And he balled. I thought, didn't he do well in week 2? No, maybe not. I gotta check. I haven't checked any of my scores. I probably lost all 13 leagues.
Then we have the Los Angeles Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp. Yeah.
Left medial high ankle sprain, is out multiple weeks, is likely to be placed on IR. He's one that also is not designated on the fantasy as IR, but he's going to be out for quite some time.
I think they're gonna put him on IR.
They are going to, yeah.
Yeah, and once they do that, you guys can put him on your reserves.
Right.
To all the football commissioners that doesn't have at least one reserve spot, please turn in your commish card after this season. Like, don't commish anymore.
Right,
It's
because you
ridiculous.
are completely unfit if you are not doing that
Everybody
to be commissioner.
It's gonna have injuries. Like players are gonna get injured. So if you're gonna play a fantasy football league, then keep it realistic. Like
With this NFL that we
I
have right now.
I do 2 in mine because I'm
Right,
nice.
right. That's what I was going to say. I even have one that has 4, but at least have 2 because the way that the NFL season is, I mean, commissioner,
extra
or just
game.
add them now.
Yeah, you
just
can still
add them
add
now,
'em.
commissioners. Just add them now. Just make it right. Yeah. And then we have Evan Ingram, tight end from
Jacksonville.
hamstring strain, and he's week to week.
Well,
And then
I'm
we
about to
have
start cutting cats.
Taysom Hill, tight end.
He
from
got
the
hurt
Saints.
too. Taysom
Chest
Hill?
injury.
He keep
He's
running up the
questionable.
middle straight up.
It looks like he might be able to play. Then the
There's
rest
more?
of these that we have are, of course, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah,
We know
already
about him.
those. Yeah,
Kenneth Walker, you know about him. AJ Brown, you know he's going to be out for a couple of weeks due to hamstring injury as well. T. Higgins, who is just not back yet. Keenan Allen said that he didn't practice at all. They're hoping he's going to practice this week. David Njoku said that he's likely to be out for week 3 as well. And Jake Ferguson from the Cowboys, which
Wait.
missed week 2 with the MCL sprain and bone bruise, said that he does have a chance to play through that contusion, but sometimes they can last for weeks. There you go.
all right. There's the injury report. Good golly, oh Molly, man!
Yeah,
I feel like my
oof.
whole team is injured. Well,
Rough.
speaking of injury report, thank you, Peachy, for that. I actually don't look forward to hearing it, but I definitely
It's
need
wild.
it. Like, yeah, that's crazy.
And we're
All right.
just entering week 3.
Just to week 3. We got how many more weeks to go? Good gosh. All right.
Season just started, really.
And the bye weeks haven't even kicked in yet, right? Got 2 more weeks for that to happen, right? Listen, guys, do me a favor. Go to your app store, right? We are sponsored by the Locker app. The Locker app is the greatest fantasy football app out there as of right now. Although it's new, it's very interactive, and I want you guys to join the TWBEN Sports League where we can compete against one another, all right? So depending on which state you live in, all right, you will be able to place your bets, all that good stuff. So listen, man, it's so dope. The choices that you have, the options that you have are like unlimited. Go to the Locker app, sign up, put your information in, search TWBEN Sports, join the league, and let's get it popping for the rest of the season, all right? Let's get it popping. Locker app. It'll be in the description of the show as well.
Yeah.
You ready to get to these waiver wire pickups?
Let's get it.
All right, man. We out of here. Here we go. All right, so we got our waiver wire pickups for week 3. And people are probably like, why in the hell is Carson Steele on this picture right here? Look, if you just listen to the injury report, you would have probably some clue of what the hell is going on here. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. Look, man, I got a couple of quarterbacks here that I think you're going to want to pick up. We talked about Derek Carr. He is available just about in every league. He put up 22.8 points last week. He's finding ways to get the ball down the field. I think he gets that one big. He doesn't even have a lot of pass attempts. I think he only had 16 pass attempts last week and still put up 22.8 points. And when he's connecting to Rashid, like, it's ridiculous. It's a big explosive play down the field. I know his number 1 receiver is Chris Olave, but they're running the ball well with Alvin Kamara, and Derek Carr is getting his, and he's playing very competent football. He looks like a competent quarterback. Thoughts on Derek Carr, PG?
Really quick, thoughts on Derek Carr. I definitely would pick him up off the waiver wire. I do agree. I believe that it's because a lot of people keep Olave blanketed. So Shaheed has actually become one of his favorite targets to hit, believe it or not. So that's cool. And then, of course, you have Alvin Kamara that can also catch and, come out the backfield, of course, and can just run the ball and get touchdowns and everything like that. So the offensive plan that they have going in New Orleans right now, if things keep up, Derek Carr could wind up being a great find if you can get him off that waiver wire.
100%. Couldn't have said it better myself. Let's go ahead and keep this moving. Listen, I know Justin Fields only put up 11.4 points, but listen, he's going to be the starting quarterback. I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to go with Justin Fields moving forward, which means that we may start to see some of the running action from Justin Fields that we got with the Chicago Bears. The Steelers need to find ways to put up points. Justin Fields might be a nice waiver wire to pick up. Speaking for myself, I'm going to drop Russell Wilson, and I'm going to pick up Justin Fields if he's available in that league. Thoughts on Fields real quick?
I was absolutely going to say that about my Buckeye. I was going to say that if you do have Russ and you can get Justin, I would definitely drop Russ like a bad habit, because he has already been like christened by Ben Roethlisberger and other people like that who feel like that he should be the starter for the remaining of the season. I do believe, just like Breezie said, that Pittsburgh is going to get him more involved in the things that he does best. Now that I think Fields is going to stay there. So if you can pick him up, I would definitely get him. I think he's also going to improve.
All right, here we go. I got a couple running backs. Carson Steele, 0.4 points last week. I think he's going to be a starting running back. I understand that they brought Kareem Hunt in. I understand that they're signing Kareem Hunt, but Kareem Hunt is going to have to get into football shape. And the last time Kareem Hunt, this is not the week to draft or to pick up Kareem Hunt. You got to give him a few weeks in the NFL. Carson Steele looks like he's going to be the bell cow. They still got P. Ryan. What are your thoughts on Carson Steele?
I do agree with that. I would not be jumping the gun on Kareem Hunt, but Carson Steele, I would definitely go after. One, Carson Steele has been there through all the practices and everything they have going on, which means that he does know and understand the system. I do believe that we're going to see a lot out of Steele, and I think he has a great chance this week with a matchup to be a highly ranked quarterback or running back. Sorry, before the end of them. Yeah.
And, you'll see what happens. He could be utilized in the pass game as well. We're talking PPR, so this might be a good pickup. If you have Pacheco, you can't put him on the reserve, you might want to drop somebody, pick up their running back. Clyde Edwards-Helaire won't be back until after week 4, so they need a running back. And I believe they're going to go with Carson Steele, so you might want to pick him up. This is a name that came out of the blossom last week against the Seahawks. Antonio Gibson, he put up 10.3 points. He rushed for over 100 yards. Now, he didn't score, but this might be a good name that you want to pick up off the waiver wire, even though Ramondre Stevens is still the bell cow. They're looking to, double up with their run game, keep drives alive. What are your thoughts on Antonio Gibson?
They are looking to do that, absolutely. I believe that they are looking at more like how Gibson was when he was in Washington. And I think that is what they're going for. I was very impressed with Gibson and was thinking about looking into him myself, because any of you who have seen or heard all of our running backs that are hurt, injured, banged up, whatever, maybe are, maybe not, Gibson would definitely be a good one to pick up. I have a feeling that he's going to be putting up a lot of points in New England.
I like that right there. All right. Quentin Johnston. Now, listen, I told myself I was going to stay away from him until last week. I don't know what happened. Last week, he was like, F everybody. After that fight he had, he was like, bump it. I'm about to let the world know I'm that dude. This dude looks like it is his quarterback's guy. You might want to pick up Quentin Johnston, 17.1 points. Peachy, what are your thoughts on Mr. Johnson? Is it Johnson or Johnston?
It's Johnston.
Okay, I've never heard of a Johnston before, but
the only thing that I have to say about Quentin Johnston is Harbaugh. If you guys saw, Harbaugh was so elated. Harbaugh loves tough guys. So anyone who is trying to battle out there, for real, he got Harbaugh's back. So if you get a chance to pick up Mr. Johnston, you could, because I guarantee you he's going to be in this offense all season, balling and putting up points.
Yeah, Herbert and Johnston looked like a connection on last Sunday, and I get it. It was against the Carolina Panthers, but if that's what they needed to do to get right, to get into a connection, to get into a rhythm, to get in sync, you might want to pick them up. I got 3 receivers here. Jalen Naylor, I know this is a tough one, but Jalen Naylor, role and responsibility may be picking up because there's injuries to Jordan Addison, and now there might be injuries. There might be an injury to Justin Jefferson. He put up 11.4 points. He scored a touchdown against San Francisco, had a big play down the field as well. 11.4 points. Thoughts on Jalen Naylor? I know that's our team back there, but he cooked us.
Yes, he really did, and I do agree. I was actually looking at that today. I was trying to see if I could find Mr. Naylor. Apparently, a lot of people are on that too already and are picking him up. Like Breezie said, you got Jettas. You don't know what's going to happen with Jettas. Addison is out. And the Vikings are looking for just another receiver that they can depend on. And I feel like that him and Sam Darnold are developing quite a connection with each other. So I would definitely pick up Naylor.
My man, Jalen. I like the kid. I ain't even going to stunt. All right. I ain't even going to attempt to say my man AI's name, but I'm going to call AI. The kid out of Cincinnati, wide receiver, put up 2 touchdowns last week. All right. 2 touchdowns. Not big in production, but it's a guy that Joe Burrow is getting a little bit comfortable with. If Jamar Chase is the one that's going to be bracketed and covered and double covered, he needs another guy to throw to. The injury to T. Higgins is there. What are your thoughts on my man AI?
You pretty much said everything that I was going to say. That injury to T. Higgins is causing AI to really show what he can do. So we will see what's what, but you know that everybody's always on Chase, and the fact that Burrow now has AI to go to is gonna start making this offense explosive again. And I look for AI to ball. So if you can get AI still, I would definitely get him.
He's definitely hanging out there in these waivers, man. Give him a look. Let us know what you think. All right. Here's my tight end. Every year I don't draft him, and every year he proves that I'm an idiot. Every year. Old man Henry, Hunter Henry, tight end. We've talked about him on previous shows. Did he make our top 10 tight ends? I can't remember. All I know is Hunter Henry is the old guy in the building. Only 10.9 points last week, but he led the New England Patriots in receiving over 100 yards, like 10 targets, 8 catches. Like, this is the guy that the quarterback is liking right now. I don't know what it is, but he's reliable. If he could get you 10 double-digit points, you might want to pick him up, especially if you have an injury to like a David Njoku or a Evan Ingram. Peachy, what are your thoughts on my man, old man Henry?
The only thing I want to say about old man Henry is I really love the way that this offense is blossoming with this dude. I think that he's going to start getting better and better. If you can get him out there, if your tight ends look as bad as mine do, I'm searching for one. So if I were you, I would definitely grab him. Some of the usual suspects like Travis Kelce and so on are not really performing and they're letting your team down, then you should definitely go with Hunter Henry. This has become the quarterback's best friend, and I think he's going to continue to be that way as well.
1,000%. Last but not least, this is the defense you're going to want to get this week. Buccaneers defense, they handled whoever they played last. They took care of what they needed to do, and that was a better offense. We're talking Bo Nix, Bucks at home. If you do double defenses like I do, I'll pick up a defense. Pick up the Bucks defense. Last week it was the Chargers defense. Now you might want to pick up the Raiders defense, but the Chargers are going with a veteran quarterback this week, if I'm not mistaken. Andy Dalton is the quarterback for the Panthers now. Okay, so that might change things up a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm going Bucks defense over the Broncos. Any thoughts on this Buccaneers defense, man? That Vita Vea is something special.
Only thought that I have on this is that they were able to handle Detroit. They made Jared Goff.
That's my point.
Look average again. So
I feel like Jared Goff is average. There's a couple of games he'll have above average.
Yeah.
But for some reason, and especially if he had that injury to Amon-Ra St. Brown is something crazy. Look, Bucks, Peachy, the Broncos, man. I mean, it's Cortland Sutton. They don't have a running game. It's a rookie quarterback. You want double-digit points this week, you better get the Buccaneers defense, pick them up, and start them. Just get him.
Completely agree with that.
Just grab him. Just reach up and grab him.
Get
you know what I mean? Just get him. Just get him. Peachy, speaking of starts and sits, anybody off the top of your dome before we jump off here, who you starting this week and who you sitting and who you sitting this week?
So one of my starts just right off the dome would be Devontae Adams.
Ooh, Raiders against the freaking Panthers.
Yes.
I can't stand you. I'm starting every Raider. Like,
Right.
So if Peachy's starting Devontae Adams, I'm starting the Raiders defense. Okay. Who you sitting this weekend?
So on the other side,
Oh, that's cheating. I don't know. Like, who you sitting? Don't pick the Panthers.
Okay. You know what? What we just talked about, I will sit Cortland Sutton this week.
Yeah, like I mean, it's just he's tough. Like poor guy.
I know.
Doesn't really have a QB.
No.
You know, it's funny because I was gonna bench a Bronco too. If you got any of their running backs, bench them. Like
any of them.
McLaughlin or the other dude that sucks. Like, just bench those guys. And you might want to just sit any Broncos player that you have. Start any Raider player that you have.
Right.
There it is. That's super simple. Guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in to What's Your Fantasy Waiver Wire Edition. I hope you like these targets. Please leave a comment in the comment section. All right. Don't forget to like this joint right here. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you click on the subscribe and have your alerts set to on and all so that you don't miss a fantasy football show or any of the other shows we have going on the channel. And last but not least, don't forget to go to your app store, download the Locker app. It looks like that with that little green whistle. Download that app, right? And then join the TWBEN Sports League so we can get our fantasy football on in a fun way. Till the next time, we out this joint. Peace.